So right now, with the sales data that we can extrapolate anyways, it's not the official sales data, but we can look at Steam DB for Lego Horizon Adventures. I can say in a tongue-in-cheek way that maybe this game needs Game Pass. Now, that's just the tongue-in-cheek way, but there are other metrics that we can take a very close look at. We could look at comparisons, and we can see why this game's numbers on Steam DB are quite low. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Sorry about the audio. I'm recording from my favorite hallway, according to you guys. First of all, the game comes out on PC day one. It's pretty much breaking all of the talk that we've heard. PlayStation is not going to be launching any of its games on PC day one. I've always laughed at that because the market shift doesn't care about the feelings of anybody who may feel warm about lists of video games that are only exclusive to their platform. Number two is this. When you think about the double-edged sword of, I said number two, number one and two together shows that they want in the first instance, PlayStation account requirement. This is an eyesore. A lot of players do not want to set this up. And not only that, it actually does block a lot of players who don't have PlayStation account access in their nations or countries or regions away from even being able to buy the game. So they purposefully somehow think that doing this is going to be some sort of a move to give them maybe monthly active users and at the same time inherently shoot themselves in the foot while doing it. Then they ask for $60 for a game like this. Ladies and gentlemen, not everybody wants to pay $60 for a Lego game. People are much more used to paying $4, $5, $6, $9, $10, $15, maybe even $20, and that's even very high for Lego games. So again, there are all of these barriers that are seeing a game like this pretty much face a lot of challenges. When I say maybe a game like this needs Game Pass, I say it in tongue-in-cheek, but there is a PlayStation published game, well, developed game and partly published by them game that is enjoying and benefiting from Game Pass. I remember I've shown these numbers a long time ago. You see, for the most part, when you say MLB The Show, people talk like, oh, Sony wanted to just keep it exclusive, but MLB wanted it there and blah, 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 blah. But not a lot of people are looking at the financial motivations as to why that even happened. I'm going to walk you through the official numbers that we have and some of the unofficial projections in terms of previous sales for MLB The Show. Keep in mind, we're going to come back and circle back to Lego Horizon Adventures when we're all said and done. So bear with me right here. Number one, when you look at, say, the Wikipedia page for all of the sales for the past MLB The Show games, not a single one of them had clocked 2 million in sales at launch. When you go from MLB 2004, where we have the first data sets, about 600,000 copies, and this was available back in the PS2 days, and you keep climbing, you realize that, come on, these games are basically hovering around the 1 million mark and so on and so forth. Even though PlayStation was putting it on all their different platforms, at this time, the console base was evolving with games that were, single player games moving to much more multiplayer games and so on and so forth, being much more mainstream on Xbox's side and so on and so forth. And MLB 2017 and 18 really did show promise. But when you get to MLB 2021, there's something quite interesting here that we're going to see. The official numbers showed that game clocked about 2 million copies. It not only clocked 2 million copies, it clocked 2 million copies in a very short period of time. Business Wire, which is a Berkshire Hathaway company, Berkshire Hathaway, many of you don't know, is a huge investment, company. It's owned by, Warren Buffett. And just so that you know, if you want to basically figure out what level of company this is, Berkshire Hathaway has 2 stock prices. And I want to do this so that we can, a lot of people don't really pay attention to this stuff. Berkshire Hathaway has 2 stock price categories that we know of. This is Berk Class B. Their stock price is about $476 today. Maybe they may have a C, I don't know, but they have an A. Their A stock prices, it's not even public here, but those A stock prices, I can get you the number and you will be, I don't know if you'll be shocked or surprised, but their Berk stock prices for A sometimes goes as high as $400,000, $500,000 a share price. That is quite phenomenal when you actually think about the capability of a company like this at the end of the day. So when you think about all of this, Berkshire Hathaway understood this particular aspect because their strategy, their Berk A shares are 713,000, by the way, if anybody was wondering, almost $1 million for those class of shares. So when they put this number out, this was based on their own interest, where they invest in Sony Interactive Entertainment. And they talked about some numbers of some games at the time. Spider-Man Miles Morales had done 6.5 million copies by November of 2020. And then MLB The Show, which had done about 2 million copies sold across all platforms. Do y'all know what other platforms were being mentioned here in the all platforms? It was Xbox and Game Pass. So the game released in April 2021, right? And this report was being published by July 2021. May, June, July, in about 3-ish months, the game had already clocked 2 million copies. What did it change? It had moved its game, or MLB had pretty much mandated that the game be on Xbox and was on Game Pass as well, and now had sold way more copies in a shorter period of time than its entire lifetime sales. If this does not tell you anything about why many of these games in today's market are struggling in some cases, while others, again, they have some kind of a resonance factor, like Stalker 2 beating Lego Horizon, which, call it what you want, right? You're seeing a smaller studio, and small studios make, significant strides in the industry. Then I don't know what else can tell you how this market is so weird. Another very interesting piece of the puzzle, ladies and gentlemen, is the fact that when you actually think about it, the whole conversation about saturation of games is one that also must be taken into account. There are too many games for PlayStation to basically be doing all of this nonsense that they're doing. Because at the end of the day, when you think about it, right now, the number, again, has gone up. I told y'all, I've been pointing this number to you guys every single week at least, or every so many days. Remember the last time that we looked at the number of games available on Steam? It was about 16,000 or so, 16,900. That number has gone to 17,085. Again, there are over 1,000 games released every single month on Steam. So if we follow that pattern, there might be 18,000 games that are released in 2024, with December not having been put into play. And in this, environment, PlayStation is doing all of this stuff, which just helps me realize more than anything that they have a lot of work to do to understand the PC market. Now, Lego Horizon Adventures may have been successful on the PS5 and on the Nintendo Switch. I don't know. I don't have that data set. But again, if it's not successful on that end, they can blame themselves for negating the PlayStation player base from actually getting access to the game, which is a very significant community. The PlayStation 4, which they ignored that console has hundreds of millions of users, and they won't launch a Lego game that they launched on Nintendo Switch on that platform. Ain't that something? Whoever's making these decisions, I wish them good luck. I hope that they understand what they're doing, because the industry is not waiting for anybody anymore. I'll see you guys in another video where we're going to talk about these numbers. They've actually changed very significantly. We got to see what the heck is going on. Thanks for watching. Hopefully we can talk in the comment section. Peace out.